Explainer: what expenses ought to Trump face for seeking to overturn 2020 election? A U.S. congressional committee probing the January 6, 2021, attack at the U.S. Capitol has sought to build a case that then-President Donald Trump behaved illegally when he attempted to overturn his 2020 electoral defeat. But what charges ought to prosecutors carry in opposition to Trump, and how might he guard himself? Here are a few thoughts being floated. Obstructing an official proceeding in a March 2 courtroom filing. The committee exact Trump's efforts to persuade then Vice President Mike Pence either to reject slates of electors for Joe Biden, who won the election, or delay a congressional count number of these votes. The president's efforts probably violated a federal law making it unlawful to corruptly hinder any reputable intending, or try and achieve this, stated David Carter, the California federal CHUS overseeing the case, said in a March 28 written order. At a primetime hearing on Thursday, committee members alleged that Trump watched the violence on the U.S. Capitol unfold or living on TV and didn't prevent it. Witnesses testified as to Trump's reluctance to inform the rioters to go away for hours after they breached the constructing. Jennifer Rogers, a former federal prosecutor and lecturer at Columbia Law School, said a prosecutor might encompass that testimony if they had been to strive Trump on an obstruction fee because it'd display his motive on the time. Trump become advised via all of us round him to behave, to try to do something to forestall it, and he selected now not to, Rogers mentioned. Conspiracy to defraud the United States. In the March 2 submitting, the committee stated it turned into in all likelihood that Trump and others conspired to defraud the United States, which criminalizes any effort by using two or extra humans to interfere with governmental capabilities, by means of deceit, craft or trickery. In addition to Trump's efforts to stress Pence, the committee noted his tries to convince Kingdom election officials, the public and participants of Congress that the 2020 election become stolen, even though several of his allies informed him there was no proof of fraud. Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, formerly testified that Trump was so enraged by using then Attorney General Bill Barr's interview with the Associated Press saying there has been no evidence of election fraud that Trump threw his lunch at the wall, breaking a porcelain dish and leaving ketchup dripping down the wall. Seditious conspiracy? Prosecutors have already charged greater than a dozen individuals of the Fairite Proud Boys and Oath Keepers companies who have been on the January 6 revolt with seditious conspiracy, a hardly ever used statute that makes it unlawful to overthrow the U.S. government by using pressure. To show Trump dedicated seditious conspiracy, prosecutors could want to expose he conspired with others to apply pressure. Rogers mentioned a prosecutor should use Trump's failure to act to reinforce the sort of fee, inclusive of testimony that he knew he became the only person who could get the rioters to go away the Capitol. Trump's defense. Trump has again and again denied doing anything illegal in reference to the January 6 activities. In a chain of posts on his social media platform Truth Social on Thursday, Trump attacked the House panel, however maintained his false claims that the 2020 election turned into stolen. So many lies and misrepresentations with the aid of the corrupt and pretty partisan Unselect Committee, he wrote. If the Justice Department have been to carry charges, prosecutors' essential task might be to prove that Trump acted with corrupt cause, professionals mentioned. Trump ought to argue he absolutely believed that he gained the election and that his well-documented efforts to strain Pence and country election officers have been not meant to obstruct Congress or defraud the U.S., however to protect the election's integrity. Does this mean Trump will be criminally charged? No. Neither Carter nor the committee can charge Trump with federal crimes. That decision could need to be made by the Justice Department, led by way of Attorney General Merrick Garland. The department is undertaking its personal research of the January 6 occasions. Any decision to indict Trump could have considerable political consequences because the former president weighs every other run for the White House in 2024. The branch did not reply to a request for remark.